Right at landfall is when the worst storm surge will be coming in downtown on the West Bank.
My mother is 83 years old. She's in dire need of her heart medication. There's no medical services here. She's on the floor. She's dying right now.
We're beginning long-term planning to help those who have been displaced, as well as long-term planning to help rebuild the communities that have been affected.
My name is Louis Murray, and I was born and raised right here, 4241 America Street. The storm hit August 29th of '05. I didn't come back to this house till that next year, '06. The water stood around here for about, I guess a month, because it was up like 6 feet the next day. So all this was underwater for a little while. February, March, April, May, June. It took me a long time to get all this trash out of here, and then we had to take everything out the house. We're called gutting the house. That took a while to tear all the sheetrock out, everything, and just make it an empty frame again. And then I checked all my wood and all for termites and treated it, all that while it was all taken apart and everything. And start putting it back. But it's gonna get better before it gets worse, because I've seen the change from bad to worse. Now I can kind of see some good coming in, because people do need places to live. Yes, indeed.
We're standing on Stemway. This is in what's called East New Orleans, mostly blue-collar working class, largely African-American community. And because all of the houses were built in the 40s to 60s era, they're what we call slab on grade, meaning they basically sit on the ground. So when this area flooded, and it did so very, very badly, it literally destroyed all of the houses. So they had nothing going on here. Habitat for Humanity has worked all over the parish. We worked in about 7 neighborhoods altogether. We typically go into a neighborhood, we build a bunch of houses on lots that we've acquired, and as we finish it out, we'll rotate into another neighborhood and start accumulating lots again. We do what is called Inner City Infill, so we fill in vacant blighted lots with brand new Habitat houses that are being owned by our Habitat homeowner families. Following the failure of the levees and the flood walls, we of course had enormous difference in the entire city, more opportunity, tremendous and generous support, and that allowed us to build over 460 new houses. So we're expanding our presence all around the city.
I was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. Coming up as a young girl, I always dreamed of having a place to call my own. While being evacuated to Texas for Hurricane Katrina, I found out I was pregnant. On February the 26th, 2006, my beautiful daughter Madison was born. Now, every decision I made was a factor around her. In 2008, we moved back to New Orleans, and to my surprise, a lot had changed. Rent was higher than before. It made more sense to own rather than to rent. Then I heard about Habitat. Madison is now 9. She's always said that she wanted a house with a backyard. The things that I love about the home is an open space that I can entertain guests if I'm in a kitchen or in a dining room. I can entertain guests in the living room. It's a 3-bedroom home with a pantry. It feels good knowing that this was something that I accomplished on my own. You know, when I walk through the door, it's like, this is my safe haven. Anything that don't bring me peace can't walk across my door sill. When I walk across my door sill, this is peace for me. So, and I just love it.
We try to pay attention to the details that make the house a better house for our families and something they can enjoy, not just for their lifetime, but for generations to come. You got to remember, a lot of Habitat families, no one in their entire family has ever owned their own home. They've been in rental housing all their life. And they may be the first homeowner or maybe the second because great-granddaddy built his own house. And they're carrying that tradition because they put their sweat equity hours in this house. They drive nails in it, they lift walls in it, they put windows, siding. And that also has the added benefit that when it comes to house maintenance, home maintenance, they know where things are and how to do it because they've done it. We landscape all of the house so families will come in, either maintain what they've got or sometimes add more. And I can tell you, 4 or 5 years after the completion of the house, you drive by, everything's grown, everything's green, it looks great. If they've planted trees, and we always plant a tree, at least one tree on every lot, those trees will have gone from little bitty trees to big, medium, decent looking trees.
This is what I wanted for my daughter, to be able to come out and play in the yard. So the yard is pretty big.
We've come an incredible distance since the failure of the levees. In the past 10 years, we've rebuilt so incredibly well, but we still have a long way to go. And we still need the volunteers returning. We have volunteer groups that have been back every year for 10 years, and they plan to keep coming until we get the entire city rebuilt. And that doesn't necessarily mean every lot rebuilt and everything, but where anyone that wants to return to New Orleans has a place they can come back to.
We're coming up better than other cities, better than people that haven't had tragedies. Before the storm, you would hear about all kind of violence. Right now, they're in new facilities now. They're nice, quiet, and calm. Just like the ones with the houses here. Now, their kids gonna grow up in a house, not in a project, in a house. You know? So their mind's gonna even be better. They'll think better. We gotta do something to preventive maintenance, some kind of troubleshooting to stop. And that's what these houses doing, that's what Habitat's doing, all that. And that's the kind of blessings we got now coming down.